Hi everybody, I'm Dan. Welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. Today I'm very excited to be taking a look and reviewing a figure that honestly I had forgotten I ordered because I pre-ordered it about a year and a half ago. Today we are taking a look at the new Fwoosh Toys Yokai Evil Jack-o'-lantern skeleton figure.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
So as I mentioned, I had pre-ordered this figure over a year and a half ago, and I honestly kind of forgot about it. I feel like there was one point in time where people on Twitter were talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, what happened to my pre-order? Is that still open? Are they still coming? And then it showed up. I literally got a shipping notification the other day, and the figure arrived today. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that. One thing that surprises me is that the pre-order that I have for the figure literally calls it an evil jack-o'-lantern. And nowhere on the package is that written. You see the Fwoosh logo, you see the Yokai, you see Bone Brawlers, but on the side, nowhere does it say Evil Jack-o'-lantern. On the back, it doesn't say Evil Jack-o'-lantern. I will point something out in just a moment. But then again, the other side just says Bone Brawlers. Now, the cool thing is on the back, it does show you the box contents. So this does say that it includes the exclusive pumpkin head, but it also has one skeleton figure, one standard head, one angry head, one exposed brain head, one cursed head with a movable jaw, a horned head with a movable jaw, a screaming head with a movable jaw, a pair of relaxed hands, a pair of grip hands, a pair of opened hands, a long sword, and a dagger. Now, all the things that I mentioned, with the exception of the sword and the dagger, are on display in the package, which is a nice presentation. Obviously, I can't review the figure in the package, so we're going to pause for a second. I'm going to open it up, and we're going to take a look at this figure. So here's the evil jack-o'-lantern out of the package, and this is what you get. You get a skeleton, and looking at it, it's actually a pretty neat skeleton. The joints feel pretty solid. Sometimes I worry about like a thin skeletal character, but like the elbows feel pretty good. In terms of articulation, I'll just get right into that. The arms move up and down, each of them. And of course, they do go around. There is the collarbone, which you can go around. Very simple. There is rotation at the shoulder as well. You get elbow bend, and then there is rotation at the elbow as well. You have wrist articulation. It does allow the hand to bend up like that. Of course, you can move your hand, and then you can kind of change the way the joint works. So I'll try to zoom in on it here. I'm not sure how well that's going to come across, but there is a articulation point that the hand swivels over. So you can get the hand to swivel in multiple positions. In terms of the head, it's on a ball joint. So there is some nice, I didn't realize it until right now. Oop, and I just dropped a skull on the ground, but that's okay. There is some nice extra like neck articulation here. So aside from the ball joint, you get a lot of movement at the head. That is really cool to see. And again, the head just being on a ball joint moves are all around. The jaw on this one is articulated. So you do have a jaw that, can open and close. That's pretty cool. In terms of the body, you have really nice bend here at the abdomen, forward and back. Like, look at that. That can go almost 90 degrees. There seems to be a double joint. There's a joint here, right here at like the base, and then a joint here at the rib cage. So you can kind of get some funky, neat positions here. I guess if you rotate, yep, it can rotate, so you can rotate it, to the side as well. In terms of legs, we can kick out, we can, kick forward and kick out, and we can go back. Articulation here at the thigh, so the leg will move. Knee bends more than 90, that's pretty nice, and goes forward right up until the bone, and the knee rotates as well, so you have extra articulation there. In terms of feet, up and down, and angling around, and you can move that joint as well. So these are super duper articulated. This is actually quite nice. In fact, if you really wanted to put them in a dynamic pose, it wouldn't take that long to just kind of mess with the joints, move them around, and then you have your skeleton standing in a pretty neat looking pose. I think that looks pretty cool. In terms of the accessories it comes with, I did mention all the extra heads. So of course I got the exclusive evil jack-o'-lantern head, and it is just a ball joint that you can pop off, and that wasn't really that hard to pop off. I was a little nervous, but no, it just popped on easily. Nice little click when it popped on. There we go. Just want to make sure. This head is a little heavier, so I'm just making sure I can balance him. Probably not going to be the head that I pose this figure with, but it's still there. It is a cool option. The other heads, I did mention before, but that's the jack-o'-lantern head. There is the, I don't know, just like the screaming head, jaw articulates. There is the, I believe this is the cursed head, and the jaw articulates there. This piece, as far as I can tell, stays in, so that's not going to go anywhere. There is an angry head without an articulate jaw. There is just a horned head with the jaw that opens. There is the brain showing head, so that's neat. Jaw doesn't open there, but that brain is really cool, really nicely detailed. And then there is just a regular skull head that jaw doesn't articulate. There are also alternate hands. Right now, this skeleton is sporting the open hands. I'll try to just swap them out. So it's just it is a pull. That felt a little tighter than the head though. That honestly made me a little nervous. But in terms of popping the hand back on, there you go. It's a click, and it feels like a worse click than it probably is. But this is one of the weapon holding hands. In fact, I'll probably put both weapon holding hands on. But just to show them off, this is what the, I guess the open hand looks like, or the relaxed hand. I'm going to swap out the other real quick. I do want to point out one thing real quick too. While I was swapping the hands, I noticed this joint right here on the wrist, this will move as well. So not only does the hand move, but that wrist joint moves. So you can really articulate this in a number of ways, which is pretty neat. I feel like that's something I haven't really seen on a figure ever, at least in what I collect. I'm sure other companies have done it, but in terms of holding the weapons, you can just slide them into the gripping hands, which is a pretty tight fit. Like this little dagger fits very nicely. It's not going anywhere. It's not loose. And in terms of the long sword here, same thing. You just kind of slide it into that hand, and now you have a skeleton wielding a couple great looking weapons. Overall, this is pretty neat. I'm going to tell you why I bought this figure, and we're going to do some size comparisons. But yeah, this is a pretty good looking skeleton. Really looks very fun and just moves in a great way. So I am very impressed by this skeleton already. Just to compare it with some stuff, I did pick up, while I was waiting for this to ship, the Vitruvian or Epic Hacks. This was Grim Spectre or something like that. I picked this up specifically because I was looking for a skeleton that I could paint blue. I wanted to make a Deadbolt from Apocalypse's Dark Riders, if you know who that character is. And I basically wanted a skeleton that I could then paint blue. This kind of takes the painting out of it because it's already a blue skeleton. Although looking at this skeleton, the Fwoosh skeleton, if he's standing up straight, he looks pretty tall. Let's see, if I stand up the Hacks one, he's a little shorter. Looks a little, just a tad bit shorter. Not a lot, but a little bit shorter. Since this is basically a Marvel Legends custom or a Marvel character custom, the reason why I bought these, let's bring in some Marvel characters. So here is Ghost Rider. This is the retro card Ghost Rider, who I think is taller than them. I just have his legs bent. And then another skull-faced character. Let's put in the Fist Ninja, who is a little shorter. So there we go. Fist Ninja looks to be about the size as the Hacks skeleton, where Ghost Rider looks like he's a little taller than all of these guys. But yeah, basically I just wanted a skeleton that I could make into a Deadbolt. And now that I'm looking at them, I'll probably still use the Hacks skeleton for my Deadbolt because he's already blue. So that makes my life a little easier. Articulation very similar to what I'm looking at the Fwoosh skeleton, but not quite as elaborate. Honestly, the Fwoosh skeleton has a lot more joints to it. I'll probably just hold on to the Fwoosh one and keep it as a cool display skeleton because this is really neat. I feel like there's a lot of things you can do with these. If you bought a bunch, you can army build and have a whole undead skeleton army. I know there's, I don't know, the skeleton wars, what do we want to call them? A lot of toy companies making skeleton figures. Some are chunkier than others, while some are more skeletal, like the Fwoosh skeleton. This figure is really solid, though. I like it. I think it moves real well. The articulation in it is fantastic. The amount of accessories is great. So even though I had originally bought it for customizing reasons, probably not going to use it for a custom. I'll just keep it around on my shelf, and it's neat. So if you are in the market for a skeleton, I highly recommend this Fwoosh skeleton. I think it is a good one. And until next time, I've been Dan. You've all been pretty awesome. Feel free to leave a like or a comment on this video, and I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.